Hi guys, so today we're looking at key knowledge point 4 in operations management. So we're moving on to the first of our strategies to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of operations, and today we'll be looking at technological developments. So the key knowledge point today is the strategies to improve efficiency and effectiveness of operations, which we know what that is by now, related to technological developments. The four technological developments that we're looking at include the use of automated production lines, computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing techniques, and website development. So they're the items that we need to focus on today. So key knowledge point 4, technological advancements or technological developments. So just to start, and we look at what are technological developments, there won't be a question on this, but it's just to give you some background on the particular area that we're looking at before we actually go into the specific strategies. So we're looking at the practical application of science to help achieve commercial objectives. So it is science developing something in response to a problem in manufacturing to help achieve commercial objectives within an organisation. So it may be equipment or knowledge that's developed to assist business to function and create products more efficiently. So all this is about the strategies that we're putting in place are about being more efficient in the way that we manufacture or that we run our operations management system. So the machines or devices improve productivity in the production process in both manufacturing and service environments. So technological developments, you're going to think about straight away, you're going to think about the manufacturing environment, but it also happens in the service environment as well, that you can use technological developments to improve the way that you operate. So, and the use of the technology means that goods and services can be produced using less labour. Labour is one of the major expenses or costs associated with any business. So by using technology and improving on technology means that you can reduce that labour cost within the organisation. It makes the operations process more cost effective as a result of reducing the labour, can improve quality because of the detail that technology can put into the manufacturing process, which leads to increased profitability. So that's where we start. So that's what technological developments are, what we're looking at. And we now look at the individual strategies for how we achieve that within a production process. So before we look at the specific strategies, what are the benefits of technology? These are just some of the things which you should be aware of. You don't need to know them all. If you know a couple of them, they're pretty obvious uh, in this particular area. So we're looking at increased productivity, reducing costs and increasing output, improving safety because you wouldn't have workers doing dangerous jobs that can be done by technology. You can reduce waste as a result of technology, reduce harmful environmental impact, improve competitiveness of an organisation, improve customer service, faster responses, and greater accuracy and reliability in production. They're all benefits of implementing technology strategies. So we can now move on to what those strategies are. So we've looked at the benefits of technology development. Let's just quickly have a look at a couple of the costs. So implementing any form of technology, there could be costs associated with staff redundancy. If you're reducing your labour costs, as we've looked at in area study 2, there could be redundancy as a result of that, or factory branch closures. So that's going to be a cost to an organisation. There could be initial capital costs, which may be prohibitive to some organisations. There could be a requirement for the labour that's remaining to reskill and train. So that's a cost to the organisation, training staff. Machinery breakdowns on an ongoing basis could impact on production, and equipment needs to be continually upgraded and replaced. So that's also a cost of production. So as long as the benefits of technology outweigh the costs, so we looked at benefits on the previous slide, as long as the benefits outweigh the costs, then technology will enable the organisation to be more effective and efficient. So remember, right from the start, we're stressing this all the way through. Effectiveness, we're looking at achieving goals and objectives. Efficiency, using resources better to reduce costs to achieve objectives. So benefits outweigh costs, then technology strategies are something that businesses should be looking at implementing. Okay, so here's our concept map looking at the different strategies that we're looking to employ to improve efficiency effectiveness related to technology. More accurately, this is Ed Rollo's concept map, but just something that I've thrown in here. So we're going to be looking at automated production lines, computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, and website development as the four strategies that VCAR use in the current study design to improve efficiency and effectiveness related to technology. So they're the four that you need to know, need to understand what they do, and be able to describe them in a case study scenario. Rightio, so automated production lines, what are they? Pretty simply, they involve replacing human effort with machinery, technology due to advances in engineering, with mechanics or with robotics where complex, precise tasks are required, or with computer advancements. So that's what automated production lines are. They're the replacement of human effort, essentially with machinery. So we think of automated production lines as being something that's involved in a manufacturing setting. Reality is automated production lines can work in either manufacturing or service industries where there's mass production of a standardized product. So that's important. Production lines tend to produce a standardized product. If we had have got to see the Yakult factory, you would have seen all those little bottles being filled along an automated production line, all being done and produced the same way and then packaged into packages of a dozen or 2 dozen bottles. So it just continues to do the same process over and over again. Very efficient at doing it, less labour involved. There are very few people or very few employees on the production line, but it is able to produce large volumes of product, standardised product. So each station performs a specific operation in sequence in a production line, preferably with automatic transfer between each station, so there's less human involvement or labour involvement in the transfer between one point in a production line and another. If it can be automatically done, that will have efficiencies along the way as well. It's most common in manufacturing, however, as I've said, automated production lines can also be used in service-related industries, example Australia Post. So I've got a little picture there of Australia Post. Within the today's lesson, there's also a link to a Australia Post YouTube, how a letter goes through their system, so which shows a lot of automated production lines in that system as well. So if you take a look at that, it's a little bit dated, as in it's about 10 years old, so the figures on the amount of mail they move is a little bit incorrect with the development of email, etc. But it shows the production lines in a service organisation, just to show that service organisations can use automated production lines as much as manufacturing organisations can as well. So here's some advantages and disadvantages for automated production lines. You will need these for each of the four strategies that we're looking at. You need to be able to understand it, explain what the particular strategy is, what the advantages are to business, and what the disadvantages are to business. So for automated production lines, you're looking at productivity rates increasing, so cost per unit can fall, which helps the business to be more productive. You can run a production line 24/7, whereas employees need to go home and need a break. The accuracy and the precision increases on an automated production line. You remove dangerous or repetitive tasks through a production line, or you have a situation where human labour aren't involved in those specific tasks, and they can reduce wastage because of the accuracy factor of the automation. Disadvantage, however, initially very expensive. Cost is a very big thing in setting up these particular strategies, so initially very expensive. If the system breaks down, there's major suspension to production, so you cannot continue production if the automated production line stops. Everything grinds to a halt until it's working again. Requires technical training on behalf of staff that are remaining to run the automated production line, and can lead to large-scale redundancy with the replacement of labour with automated production lines can lead, as we've looked at earlier, large-scale redundancy. So let's move on now to computer-aided design. We're going to do computer-aided design and computer-aided manufacturing together, CAD and CAM. The benefits, advantages and disadvantages are pretty much the same for both. The systems are a little bit different, but again, they're mentioned as strategies individually, so you need to know what each one does. So computer-aided design is, as the heading says, it's programs which improve the creation and editing of products in the design phase. So it allows for the creation of 3D designs in addition to 2D designs. So for example, architects, engineers use these programs to draw and adjust 3D designs based on client requests, which can be emailed and reviewed from anywhere in the world. If you think of some of the manufacturers out there, car color request by Lamborghini, you would have different designs with the Lamborghini in different colors emailed to you to look at. Rolls-Royce, if you ever looked at mega factories, they've got a bespoke purchasing at Rolls-Royce, which is bespoke means you get to design all of the items within the car to your specification, and Rolls-Royce in the CAD stage actually mock up the Rolls-Royce so you can see a model of the Rolls-Royce. That's computer-aided design. And new house designs today, some of the new house design or the new manufacturers, they go through a 3D modelling process as you go through and choose all the different components to a house. They put that together into their computer-aided design program, and they produce a mock-up of the house, what it will look like when it's finished. That's all computer-aided design, so it tends to help in the development, in the marketing, in the sales phase initially of the production process. So getting clients to agree to a particular design before going into production. Computer-aided manufacturing, on the other hand, is a technique that involves the control of machinery and equipment through a computer. So machines are fed instructions from the various computers. So you've got an automated production line that we looked at first. It's got to be controlled somehow. It's either got to be controlled by a member of your staff or controlled by a computer. So we're looking at the computer-aided manufacturing side here. So for example, in Yakult, the production line process at Yakult, production runs are established, the numbers entered into a computer at the control panel step 4. So if you have a look through the Yakult case study that I gave you, have a look how their operation system runs. You'll see step 4, there's a control panel. That's computer-aided manufacturing. So all the information is entered into the control panel. The computer then runs the batch. So it checks for errors and ceases production or completes the batch when the required number of units have been produced. So it interrelates with the automated production line, so to be able to complete the production line effectively, or the production process effectively. Right, so the advantages of CAD and CAM now. So we're looking at those advantages and disadvantages together. The advantages for both of them are that they increase quality. They practice and review design features before manufacture, so there's less wastage because you can actually design something in the CAD system before going to manufacture. There's customer involvement. You make it when you need it, and allows employees to have more creativity in the design phase for that. The disadvantage for either of them, initially both processes are very expensive. The design tools and the manufacturing tools, both computer aided, are very expensive, and they require technical training. They may replace labour. So if you look at the disadvantages across the 3 strategies that we've now looked at, computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, and production lines, the advantages are the same. We're looking at the expense of setting them up. We've got the technical training required to run them, and we've got the loss of labour by replacing humans with computer systems. Right, let's go to the last strategy. So the last strategy is website development. So which is an important one. It's come up in the exams and the SAC over the last couple of years. So it's vital connecting point between customers and businesses. So previously we had, before websites, we had brochures and word of mouth, where how customers found businesses, and now we've got internet research, bookings online, product and service menus, special offers, marketing and communication. It's all offered online, so it's there at the touch of a finger, and it's a lot more cost effective than producing glossy brochures. So, and it's important also when websites being developed is that businesses, it's their first contact with the consumer, so it must be a positive one. So the websites that are being developed have to be very professional looking if they're to be used to attract new business. So just a word of warning here on website development. Make sure when you're doing the SACs and exams, you need to read the question carefully. So in 2018, there was an exam question related to website development, boosting sales internationally. So if you mention marketing, or catalogs in that particular question, you got 0 marks. So the question was about expanding your business. So it was talking about e-commerce and web development being e-commerce. So anybody who waffled on about the benefits of an online catalog and all that sort of thing, they got 0 marks in the exam. In 2019, there was an exam question which spoke about business expansion overseas, and the business that the exam spoke about was a service business, which was a courier. So students used web development in that scenario about how to expand overseas. But again, when the examiners looked at the paper, what benefit does building a website have overseas for a courier business based in Australia? There's no way and there's no link between the actual type of business and the development of a website into an overseas market. Because it's a service business with vehicles on the ground in Australia, you needed to look at a different answer, different solution to expand your business overseas. Website development, just because you can access a market overseas and have people look at a website online relatively inexpensively, doesn't mean it's the correct decision to make. So you have to be very careful with that and make sure you read the question carefully for what the question is actually looking for in the answer. Right, here's our final advantages and disadvantages for the day to do with website development. Benefits of a website that's been built correctly are that there's 24/7 availability. There's labour costs reduced again, ensures consistent message across your brand. There's easy access to customer feedback through surveys, etc. online, and it saves the cost of a bricks and mortar business running your business online as opposed to having a store in the Chadstone shopping centre. If you're a service business, that's a significant advantage. On the disadvantage side, initially can be very expensive if you're going for that quality type of development with a proper e-commerce suite, etc. Can be expensive. If the system breaks down or shuts down, there's a major disruption to your business, and you cannot trade until the website's back up again. There's technical training required of staff to run back-end applications within the website, and it can lead to large-scale redundancy again through the use of technological developments. It can make some staff redundant. Okay, time for some work. So we're going to look at today the case study that I've given you. There's only one question related to technological advancements. So question number 12, if you could do that today, read through the textbook, have a look at the notes, page 224 to 228, and then there's questions 1 to 12 on page 229 to do. Ed Rollo, if you need to consolidate the information that you've learned today, please go and do that. Otherwise, next lesson we'll move on to the next strategy, and I'll also post tomorrow, being the end of the week, the answers to date for the ECOL case study. So it'll be today's question 12 and the questions from yesterday as well. So good luck. Any questions, come and see me, and we'll see you again tomorrow. All the best.